Hello, everybody. Happy Monday morning to all out there. Welcome into the PHLY Phillies podcast. Myself, Jamie Lynch, Renee Washington, Tyler Zulli. And, in a weekend where the Sixers crapped on your hearts, it was nice, Renee, to have a salvation that was our baseball team as the Phillies swept the Padres. We'll get into how much they dominate the Padres and reactions to the games. Last we were with you was Friday night, but they swept. It was great. There's a lot to talk about this weekend. Ranger Suarez was spectacular. Alec Bohm's on fire. We'll get into the Taiwan Walker game and all that, but a sweep kind of cleansed the soul of I don't want to say a shitty sports weekend because the Eagles, I think most people are on board with and in agreement with. But it was nice to watch the Sixers and go, okay, give me a good team to watch. Mm-hmm. And the Phillies were there for you right after the game at 4 o'clock. Like the timing of it was kind of perfect on Sunday. It was nice. It was very enjoyable.
I'm not going to say I told you guys, but I remember us on Friday at the end of our post-game show. You asked a question. How do we feel about the Sixers on Sunday?
Yeah, you
so
said,
I was the lone one, and I didn't have any expectations going into Sunday. I know my parents went to the game. I'm glad they got to be there. They had fun. There were a lot of people there. Dawn Staley, Dr. J. There were a lot of people outside the game itself. It was cool. But this is why we are fortunate to be in also a sports city where there are so many teams that are good. That if the team wants to take a dip and make, things frustrating, you do have the Phillies. And this weekend was fantastic for the Phillies. And it had me, at the end of it, I'm like, wait a minute, are the Phillies as good as we think? Like, are they really good? Are they good? Are they legitimately a talented team? And I think so. I think they're showing us that. I know in the chat, we've got, as per usual, a lot of folks here that are talking through about the weekend, but Chris Slemmer, number one, Provolone John, Lisette, what's up, Lisette? John Lemmerman, you guys are sharing your takes on Walker. You're talking about the Sixers. Somebody, Provolone John said you sound a little sad, Jamie.
I wish I actually could tell you I had a reaction. So we brought the TV out on the porch yesterday, and the girls were playing, and Miller Lights were flowing. I was like yelling a little bit during the game about getting out offensive rebounded. But like I didn't really have a reaction when the game was over. So sad, not really. Sucks. It's more like apathetic than anything. And it's just kind of like Tyler and I, Tyler joked as well. Like we're just kind of dead inside from the Sixers. So
can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way to look at it at this point. Can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah. But the Sixers can certainly, hurt some, but the Phillies saved all out there. So let's pick up where we left off Friday night. And that was the brilliance of Ranger Suarez. My goodness. Aaron Nola goes out and throws a gem on Friday. Ranger comes back on Saturday. His scoreless inning streak ends at 32 2/3 innings. It was spectacular. Jeff Hoffman said after the game, I don't think there's a situation in baseball that could spike Rangers' heart rate. This guy, I hope it continues for the year because you talk about a breakout season. This guy is kicking the damn door in.
He is. And what was great about that matchup of Ranger Suarez, Dylan Cease, all the streaks that we were talking about coming into it, Alec Bohm streak, Dylan Cease had a streak against right-handed pitchers, Ranger Suarez obviously on a scoreless inning streak. And I think for me what jumped out was the fact that Ranger continuously is showing us, he prior to the season gave us some snippets of like 200 plus innings, all these different, his goals, his expectations, and then just continuously delivering. And he's backing it up day in and day out with some really good pitching and showing us that he is what we expected of a healthy Ranger Suarez, of a Ranger Suarez that can be able to be in the conversation. You look at all of the names that he was chasing for the longest stretch in franchise history, and it's Grover Alexander at the top with 41 innings scoreless, Cliff Lee, Larry Anderson, Dick Farrell, Ranger Suarez, Robin Roberts. Like, you're right there in the midst of some of the greatest to ever wear a Phillies jersey, that you can say he's had the 5th longest in franchise history. I mean, Ranger Suarez is phenomenal. And the craziest part about all of this, in my opinion, is when we came back to do the show today, and for as incredible as Ranger's been, there's so many others that we can highlight. Like, obviously, Alec Bohm is the main one right now, but you look at the way that Rangers pitching, obviously we'll talk about Taiwan's return, Bryson Stott with his first ever career multi-homer. Like, across this squad, what makes them so exciting is it's not one or two guys. And I know Bryson Stott actually talked about that. He was like saying how, every day it's a different pitcher that's closing out the game. It's a different hitter that's stepping up. They're finding ways to win games. And that's the truth. This team is doing it by committee. They're top of the league now, which is where they were at the bottom offensively. Now they're the top of the league in so many different offensive categories. They're on another winning streak. They're consistently getting results. Like, Rangers is such a big part of that, but this team as a whole has some contagious energy right now that they're just feeding off of each other. And that's the other part of what, like, Ranger, Alec, Bryson, Bryce, everyone is providing.
Yeah, right now they're sitting at 19-10, and they're on pace for a 106-win season.
Insane.
That's pretty good for a team that we were, look, I'll admit, I was complaining a little bit the first 2 weeks of the year because the bat sucked, the offense wasn't fun to watch, and you knew it was going to turn the corner and come around, and it's come feverishly here. Yeah. 106 wins would be phenomenal. The problem there is the Braves are on pace for like 142 wins. So unfortunate. You're just like up against one of the best teams ever in the division. But it doesn't matter. I don't think there's a doubt in any baseball fans' minds that this is a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking of the Phillies starting staff that Ranger is contributing heavily to, before we get to Sunday's game, Alec Bohm is just ridiculous. But the starting rotation is equally as ridiculous. As our own John Foley points out, they're leading the league in strikeouts from their staff. And they're leading the NL in home runs. That is #good. The starting rotation, and this is Tyler's favorite stat, the F4 for the rotation. The Phillies' F4 for their rotation is a whole game better than the second best team. The Phillies have a 5.5 F4 from their starting rotation. The Red Sox are second at 4.5. And of course, as everyone predicted, the Washington Nationals third with a 4.1 F4 from their starting rotation. This starting rotation, and we'll get into Taiwan momentarily, is remarkable. And Spencer Turnbull, not to the bullpen just yet. We'll talk about him this week because he's going to be pitching in the Angels series. But this starting rotation is, I keep thinking there's going to be a drop-off at some point, and maybe Taiwan is, what's going to make us human again. But wow.
I know.
Like, this is one of the best runs of a Phillies entire rotation I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I know earlier in the chat, I think it was John Lemmerman who mentioned, like, this is he said this is easily the best Phillies team I've watched since 2011. At least this early in the season. And that's why, even as we talked about Friday,
let's get a thumbs up.
There's a lot we take for granted. When we talked Friday, the success of this team, it started with starting pitching. They literally put the team on their back while the bats were still cold, while the bullpen was even getting going and sorting through the Connor Brogdons and Ricardo Pinto. Adios, Ricardo. But now it's everybody that's really feeding into it. But the starting pitching continues to be elite. And that's why the Phillies have the best winning percentage dating back to their opening weekend loss to the Braves. Since then, they've been phenomenal. And the last 13 games, they've won 11 of them. Of course, we know the 2 games that they lost against the Reds. I don't make excuses, but one could look at the lineup and the late game decisions and the Sir Anthony to Strom to Soto bullpen, some easy fixable tweaks. It's not like they lost games with, the usuals out there that were just underperforming. So of the 11 games that they've won, and yes, you can always point to who they beat and whatever else, they have averaged, and I don't care.
Everybody plays the Rockies and White Sox. Yeah.
It's professional sports.
Got to win.
And I hate when people try to act like one game or team is easier than the other. In pro sports, every game is hard. And in their last 13 games, the Phillies have averaged now 5.9 runs per game. How quickly did that switch? We were sitting here, it feels like yesterday, talking about their inability to score more than 5 runs. They had only done it once in the first 16 games.
I think they're averaging 6.3 runs per game over these last 12 or
You're
something.
annoying.
Did you just say that? Oh, that's weird.
You're annoying. And so the great thing is you're giving your pitchers support.
Yeah.
You're allowing Ranger, Aaron, Zach, Spencer, Taiwan, Christopher to have a chance to take the mound up 2 runs, up 3 runs. So if they do find themselves in a jam,
it recently?
They
was
have
it Nola
support.
that the team pounced them early? Oh, it was the game I was at on the Fanatics birthday.
Yeah.
It was 2 runs right away.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife even was like, oh, shit. And I was like, well, if he ends up going 6 or 7, it's fine. And the team came out bottom of the first, got 2 runs, took the lead in the second.
Right away responded.
And mentally for a pitcher, that's huge.
I'd love to know. I'm sorry. I'd love to know, and I might have to deep dive this after, how in the last X amount of games, how much the Phillies were actually down. We've seen them give up a run and then answer back.
They've mostly been leading.
It hasn't been. They've mostly been leading, and then when they do go down, it's right away.
They've been pouncing early.
Yes.
They've been getting a lot of first inning runs.
And that's the other thing. They've been leading a lot. And I know I had the stat of the first 7 innings, how they've outscored their opponents by double. I'm gonna have to deep dive that, but sorry, I know Tyler.
No, Tyler, I was just gonna say you pitched when.
Yeah, you can use that term very loosely.
Yeah, but when a team bails you out offensively, I think it changes your mindset. It changes what you throw in certain situations.
Sure.
It changes a lot.
It's significant. I think that you pitched with.
Oh, there you are.
Somewhere you can find me. You pitch with a little bit of an air of confidence when you have a lead. You're not trying to be so perfect on every pitch you throw. You understand you can go out there. You're still trying to make your pitches.
Sure, you can take more risks.
You're not lax. But yes, you can. You could throw a pitch that maybe you go, okay, in an 0-2 count in a tie ball game, I'm not going to throw the fastball in on the hands because of the fact that I don't have, blow your way fastball stuff. But when you're up 4, you go, okay, let me try this pitch.
Right.
Let me see if this works. Now, granted, it's a lot different when you're throwing 5 really good pitches like Ranger does. And Sanchez, when Sanchez is on, he's got 4 good pitches. Wheeler's got 4 or 5 good pitches. Nola's got 4 or 5 good pitches.
It's wild.
And so when you have the ability to fool hitters in that kind of spot, you have extra bravado to you a little bit. And it's not false confidence. It's more just, I can go after this guy. I can go right after and attack this hitter in a specific spot because my team has staked a 3-run lead.
Yeah, and you saw Ranger on Saturday night. Guys were leaving the box, to Tyler's point, about 5-6 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody in our Discord was like, how does he get away with this? Some of his locations weren't even that good. And I was like, I think it's just because the batter has no idea what's coming in any situation. 5 or 6 different pitches.
It's funny you mentioned that because in the 8 innings that Ranger pitched on Saturday, he threw 28 four-seam fastballs, 23 sinkers, 20 curveballs, 14 changeups, 10 cutters, and then 1 slider. So he literally is equally balancing what you're getting, and you have no idea what's coming your way. You have no idea what he's going to be pitching at you. So in comparison, just for perspective, because I pulled Dylan Cease's numbers too, Dylan Cease, on the other hand, threw 37 sliders, 35 four-seam fastballs. Then it drops down to 9 knuckle curves, 7 sweepers, 2 cutters, 1 changeup. The majority of his pitches are sliders, four-seam fastballs. Whereas with Ranger, it's pretty, the top 3 or 4, it's pretty evenly balanced as to what he's throwing, and you have no idea what's coming your way.
Yeah, I think it was Cronenworth I saw leaving the box after Ranger got him out on Saturday, and his head was just shaking.
It's frustrating.
What the hell am I supposed to do? I don't even know what to anticipate coming.
Mm-hmm.
So Ranger and Bohm were spectacular. As Renee mentioned, Dylan Cease had a lot of success versus right-handed hitters, and Alec Bohm said, let's not waste any time here.
Love that.
Let's just get this started in the first inning. Alec Bohm, he's very, 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 very good at baseball right now. He is seeing beach balls out there. And, they even interviewed Bryson Stott yesterday after the game, and we'll talk about Sunday in a sec. And they said, Bryson, we haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a kind of a tough start to the year. And he was like, yeah, man, it's just good to talk to you guys. And they go, you're the story of the game, but how about Alec Bohm right now? And Stott just goes like, man, he is seeing everything right now. Alec Bohm is currently 7th in F-WAR in all of baseball, according to Fangraphs. He's 3rd overall in OPS amongst qualified hitters. And guess the 3 behind him are Shohei Ohtani, Jose Altuve, and Juan Soto. So he's keeping pretty damn good company right now. He's doing it in the field. His chase and whiff rates are down. His pitch selection is better. Alex Coffey had a great piece on the Inquirer over the weekend talking with Bohm about, kind of his process, and he used the word selectively aggressive. And this just shows you this guy not only has a great understanding of the strike zone, but I think he's doing his homework versus other pitches, and he's knowing what to expect in certain counts and situations, and he's waiting for those situations, getting into hitters' counts, and, not letting any mistakes go by him. Now, he probably can't continue this pace for the entire year, I wouldn't think.
Right.
But this dude has continually impressed me since basically I fucking hate this place here comments, and he metamorphosed from a caterpillar into a butterfly. Maybe he can keep this pace up.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know anymore with this guy. He's spectacular. He just continues to get better as a player.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, when you look at the way that Alec Bohm is consistently stepping to the plate, making things happen, going out in the field and being phenomenal at third base, he's feeling it. The confidence is high. You talk about that number for Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease had only given up 1 hit to a right-handed batter. Out of 52, 1 for 52 right-handed batters were coming in. Trey Turner comes in and, of course, gets the first hit. And then Alec Bohm comes in and smashes one out the ballpark.
Cease just kind of like, as soon as that happens.
And that's the thing. That's inning number. That's your first time seeing a right-handed batter, and the first 2 you see are hits.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where the Phillies, that's why I was like, are they good? You had right-handed batters going 1 for 52, and then Alec and Trey come in and make it look easy. And I'm not just saying it was, but completely just messed that stat up. But as you talk about the streak that he's on, I know even
Ridiculous.
for Padres manager Mike Schultz, he was saying how, this guy Bohm, he's one of the best right-handed hitters in the game right now. He absolutely is. Alec Bohm actually is on, as you talk about the numbers, having the longest active streak in the majors, also having the ability to continuously deliver RBIs, home runs, even just singles and doubles. I mean, he's now at, I think it was
he's
12.
an extra base hit
12
machine.
doubles. Yes, he's had 12 doubles on the season.
All he does is hit
Even
extra
that's
base
something that
hits.
we've talked about, like how frustrated we were at one. Everything we've complained about or talked on the show has been fixed. At one point, we were like, oh, the Phillies keep getting singles. We want them to get extra base hits. We want them to get doubles. We want them to this. Everything, they're doing it. I mean, he alone has 12 doubles, 26 RBIs, 4 home runs, but you're just game after game. The hitting streak is not even just a hitting streak. It's a scoring streak. You're giving every game, when you break it down, and I know, Tyler, you have some stats on him. I'm actually let you read those while I confirm this, because I want to make sure I have these numbers right. Because he's on a streak also of scoring every game, or majority of games. So go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, so let me just give you a couple of quick reasons as to why Alec Bohm has started this year so strong. Just for example, his zone contact rate is up. And for those that may not know what that means, is it's kind of what it sounds like. If he is hitting pitches within the strike zone at a higher rate than he was last year. His barrel rate is also up. His K rates are down. His whiff rates are down. His chase rates are down.
Everything's in a positive direction with him.
Right, and even with the chase rate being down, his chase contact rate is up. So when he is being fooled or he is going at it, attacking a pitch outside of the strike zone, the contact rate is up. He's already a 6-run value on fastball. And more importantly to me, he's a 5-run value on sliders this year. He's seen 88 sliders. He is hitting 3 89
Wow.
off of sliders. Now, the whiff rate is high. It's
That is a horny statistic
it's
right
31%. He's striking out at a 30% capacity, but the batting average is up near 400 on sliders. It's over 400 on fastballs.
there. Wow.
Jeez.
That is ridiculous. And Renee, as you are getting to this stat, he led the team with runners in scoring position batting average last year, and he's doing it again. Like, this dude's just got nuts. You talk about Ranger, not being phased on the mound, and, is Bohm to me is like becoming the guy you want up in the high pressure situations.
No, seriously.
Like, he seems quasi unfazed up there with runners on. And, not that I'm comparing beer league softball to Major League Baseball by any means.
But you're about to.
But I'm going to. But when you step up and your team needs you with runners in scoring position, you grip that bat tighter. Like, it's just a natural thing to be like, oh, shit, here's my opportunity. The team needs me. We need these runs. Like, it's a higher tense situation. So to lead the team, basically for a year and a half now with runners in scoring position, to me, might be the most impressive thing of all. And there's a ton of impressive things with Alec Bohm now.
Which I think why, Jamie, is when you talk about Bryson Stott, for example, moving him down to 8 to get his head clear is not a bad idea.
No.
Like, I think we
Right.
can all sit here and agree that he's probably at some point in his career a 2-hitter, maybe even a leadoff hitter at some point in his career. But for him, with how he's been struggling to start the year, you bump him down in the order, you take some of that pressure off. The likelihood is you're probably going to see a couple more fastballs. The likelihood is you may get challenged a little bit less because of the fact that, and when I say challenge, I don't mean pitches in the zone. I mean, sliders off the back foot and changeups down and away and fastballs and cutters on the hands. You're going to see better pitches because of potentially the lower value situation that you find yourself in. So for a guy like Bohm, for example, to be able to move up into this lineup and to hit in the 4 spot consistently when that, I don't want to call it pressure, but it basically is pressure is on.
It's pressure.
He's thrived so far.
Yeah.
So this is where I know as
Renee was in the numbers lab,
I was like,
crunching away over there.
because I had a stat and I forgot to look it up earlier. That's on me. But this is the value of any series. I don't care if it's the White Sox, the Rockies, whoever. This is the value. Since that third game against the Rockies on April 17th, in the last 14 games that Alec Bohm has played in since then, he's had 3 of his 4 home runs in that stretch, 10 of his 12 doubles in that stretch, and 16 of his 24 RBIs in that stretch.
Damn.
You talk about momentum swings. He was hitting here and there in the start of the season, but in 14 games, more than 50% of his, honestly, some of the most important stats, I would think, home runs, RBIs, even doubles. I don't have runners in scoring position.
Well,
I couldn't deep dive that
RBIs.
too. But yeah, but to have that game, everything swung. Of course, game 1 against the White Sox is when he had the 2 3-run homers, but it's contagious. It's momentum. It's feeding off of the success that you're having, that in the course of 14 games, you literally had the bulk of your season. So for as great as he's playing, it took him taking time to get that going, and he's still making progress. He didn't start hot. Alec Bohm has consistently been getting better as the season's going on, that he now, as we talk about this hitting streak that he's on, because it's now what? How many games are we at? 12?
I think that sounds right.
Yes, 12 now.
Yeah.
12 games. So 12-game hitting streak that he's on, and I'm looking at a 14-game sample size. So for Alec Bohm, this streak is bigger than just the hitting streak. It's the fact that in this stretch, we're getting the best offensive production from him on top of the already clean defensive plays that we're seeing from him at third base.
Yeah,
Tyler,
Tyler,
what did you
can you
have
put
on
up
the
that heat map again? I missed it looking down. That looks pretty good.
Wow.
Alec Bohm, good at baseball. This just in.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but 100 is perfect in this graph. So the batting run value being at 19 already is pretty freaking impressive.
Wow.
Alec Bohm continues to impress.
You know what else impresses me, guys? When you have people that are there to help you through the process of buying a house or refinancing, and our friends at Mortgage CS do just that. Over at Mortgage CS, which stands for Mortgage Concierge Service, it's impressive how they are a white glove service right here in Philadelphia, but also licensed coast to coast, working in various states such as down in Florida, out west in California, where the Phillies are going to be taking on the Angels this week, excuse me. Here locally, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, DC, lots of options depending on what state you guys reside in to be able to work with Mortgage CS. They offer refinancing options that they can help you with, any sort of rate and term refinances for a rate payment reduction or cash out refinances to be able to tap into any home equity or be able to make any, decisions around projects that you're looking to do. But also, as the spring purchase market is heating up, not only the temperatures heating up and we're in shorts, minus Jamie today, weirdly, but also the spring purchase market is also heating up. And over at Mortgage CS, they want to help their clients make sure they are empowered, educated, supported to be able to have the opportunity to prepare to make the best offer, the strongest offers possible, to stand out. And at Mortgage CS, they really help their clients by being available 24/8. They want to make sure you can always reach out to them. They give you their phone number. CEO Ben's phone number right on your screen, 267-391-7425. You can reach out at any time to ask questions. Maybe you're even concerned about what's going on with the Sixers, or you want to be excited about what's going on with the Phillies, or the NFL draft, or the fact that the Union lost their first game ever of the MLS this past weekend. You can talk to Ben and Alec about it. You can also reach out via email. Ben is his email, ben@mortgagecs.com. And you can check out more details on mortgagecs.com/PHLY to get started. A place with exceptional customer service, working to make sure they can give you the ability to have all the options needed, support questions that you have, whatever it is. They're comparing rates between multiple lenders to find a deal that makes the most sense for you and your family and not their bottom dollar. And know that this advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker, and all loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply, and the company NMLS ID number 1464766. You can visit mortgagecs.com for more information. So when you hear the word mortgage, you think of Mortgage CS, you think of Ben and Alec.
Yes, I've sent my own sister over to them at Ben and Alec. So if I'm sending family members, I would definitely send you guys. And I'd also send you over to the Bet Parks app because, the Sixers do have another game left. Currently, they're a 4-point dog tomorrow night, going back up to MSG. But the Phillies are the hottest team, well, except for the Braves. Phillies are one of the hottest teams in baseball, and you can bet them anytime with Bet Parks. Tonight out in Los Angeles of Anaheim, whatever the hell they're called, they are a 1.5 run line favorite. You get plus 116 on the run line. If you want to take a little money line, you can get them minus 143 tonight. Christopher Sanchez on the hill for the Phillies. But there's a ton of action every single day. They have pre-made parlays for you. They have action on every event you'd like to scratch that itch with. So get in the zone with the Bet Park Sportsbook app because money is in the moments. Some games tonight, I like the Phillies to keep it going. Honestly, at minus 143, you can get action all day long. Win your first $10 bet and earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet with Bet Parks. Download the app and play along with us. Must be 21 or older to join. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, Jamie, before we move along and talk about Sunday's game, we have to play a game of our own. And it's time to spin
the wheel.
Don't sound
Forgot.
so excited.
He said the wheel.
He's
Darn.
like, damn it.
I forgot. There's a lot of baseball to talk about.
What's
All
up,
right.
Lisette, Ray, John, Jay, K-Red, Spyla? We're going to take a break and play some games, and this is going to allow us to still talk about baseball.
Tyler, are you ready for the wheel? All right, there it
I
is.
would be if it wasn't off-centered all of a sudden. I don't know what happened to it.
None of y'all are ready for the wheel.
Tell me you can't read those words. I mean, the viewer might be able to.
Yeah,
Am I
I
that
can read
old
them.
that I can't?
The only reason I can read them is because I created it.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't be able to.
All right, let's spin
that wheel.
Spin the wheel, Tyler.
I'm nervous.
It's a very fast spin.
I know, and it kind of changes directions.
I have no idea what that says.
Yay! I'm so excited for this game.
Word stump time.
Quick, so this is perfect because we'll be able to get back into
I don't know what anything is, so this is all new to me.
Would you like some candy?
You have candy in there?
Yeah, I always
There's
have
always
candy
candy in there.
It's part of the fun. There's candy in here.
Oh, okay.
All right, this is a new game that I
What
created.
kind of candy are we talking?
Reese, okay, it's the same candy as last time. Oh, I do have Hershey's Kisses and Mints, Three Musketeers. What is this?
What is that? Is that a Werther's original?
Try it. I feel like it's chocolate. I don't know. Why is it an unlabeled piece of candy? All right, while you're enjoying that secretive candy, because I don't know what that is.
It's hard to open.
Here's the deal. Word Stump is for you and Tyler. I'm not playing this game. I'm just in charge. So this is a new game where there's going to be a category. You're littering. Are you kidding? There's going to be a category and there's going to be a word. So one of the categories, for example, could be candies.
Is this a trick candy that you just can't open? What are you doing to me?
I'm trying to explain the game. Let's say, for example.
What is that? Is that one of those like mystery dinner mints? Do you ever go to a restaurant where they have that like bowl of like weird mints?
I have no idea, to be honest. Is it good?
It's one of those.
Okay. I don't know. All right, so here's...
Wait, where are you getting the candy? Is this some guy in a van outside your apartment? What do you mean you don't know? Oh, God. What did you just give me? Am I going to start tripping balls?
Yes.
All right.
Actually,
buckle up, everyone.
It's from my candy dish in my house.
We're going to another planet.
I'm trying to explain the game.
All right.
All right, so there's a category. My example is the category is candy. But you can't, and you have to list off as many candies as you can as quick as possible.
And how much
but
time?
What stumps you is you have to only list it based off of the word. So if the word is shoe, you have to list a piece of candy that starts with the letter S, H, O, and E. So like Starbursts.
What?
Like yes, you can only list candies that start with S, H, O, and E. So there's a category and there's a word.
Okay.
Correct.
All
and
right.
it's not timed, but just be quick.
All right.
So like it'd be Starburst. I don't know what an H candy is. O would be
Honey O's, isn't that one?
Sure. And O would be, yeah, you get it.
All right.
Tyler, are you ready for this? Because you guys go one at a
We have
time.
to apparently
Sure.
turn our brains on, Tyler.
I don't want to do that.
And these are all sports, Phillies related, all types of stuff. Jamie, your first. Oh, this is easy.
Oh, yeah. That's
Your first category, top championship cities in all sports.
Words
so
are
cities with the
hard.
most titles. Easy, right? But here's the word you have to spell.
What?
Citizens Bank.
What?
Citizens-
What's it
All
going
right.
to say for Z?
Chicago.
See, there's not always an answer. That's the funny part. That's why it's
Is
a
there
stump.
any cities that start with I besides Iowa City?
It's championship cities. Cities that have won championships
Yeah.
in sports. There is an I.
Yeah.
But you're not working together.
Oh, we're not a team? This is like me
All right,
versus
fine. You
him?
guys can be a team if you don't feel
What's
like you
I?
can handle it.
Indianapolis.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
duh. Indianapolis. T. Tampa Bay.
I was gonna say, like, an easy one.
I again.
Indianapolis.
Great American ballpark. I think the game's over at Z, isn't it?
can you get past C? Can you do other letters?
E. What's E?
This is why it's called word stump.
Inglewood's an I, right? E.
Yeah, sure. E.
I don't know an E city.
E. Philadelphia.
There's no Edmonton team that's won a championship.
Yeah, well,
Well, there is
yes.
Edmonton.
Yeah, the Oilers.
Yeah, they
I know,
won
but
back in like the 80s.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
they
All right,
won
It doesn't say
Edmonton.
United. It doesn't have to say.
Oh,
like,
okay, so we
it just
go
says
international.
championship cities.
All right, then
Oh,
N.
well, then just England, all of England,
Yeah,
as a country.
Yeah, all right, we'll go Edmonton.
Zimbabwe. Yeah, Edmonton. See,
The
Spiral
Spiral
Labs got
Outlaws.
you.
Let's get a thumbs up for Edmonton. We're big in Edmonton.
Zimbabwe.
N. Nashville's
Nashville.
not really a championship.
Well, they didn't.
city,
Yeah,
though.
they didn't win. And they've never won between
Yeah.
the Preds and the Titans.
So
Nashville's
they're
never
out.
won.
Nottingham ever win the EPL?
Norwich,
Norwich City. And
Manchester City.
yeah, I love Manchester City. They're a good team. And
What about?
New England. Does that
I was
count?
gonna say. Actually, I was gonna
New
say New
England
England.
Does New
Yeah.
England count?
I would say New England.
all right, New England, and
I'd
then
give you that
Seattle.
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 Yeah, the Seahawks. Yeah,
And you
and
don't
then
have to.
bang B,
This is easier.
Baltimore, A, Atlanta, N,
Back to Ed.
We're back to N.
Manchester City, and K,
Kansas City.
Kansas City. All right, we did it.
Woo, you've been stumped. Yay. That was fun.
Ridiculous.
All right, Tyler. Since you're being a sour apple, I won't make you do one also. Because
Oh, wait. No. I'll do one if you want.
Oh, you ready? I feel like you would love this game.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
trivia.
I'm coming back.
I'll
All
help
right.
you.
Yeah, I guess we could have done New York.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh,
so
so
stupid.
Yeah, we're pretty dumb, right? New York.
Literally, but it's fine.
Oh, we're
New
so
York
dumb.
does start with an N.
New
That is a
York,
fact.
yeah. Thank you, Ray. See, this is how you get stumped because you should
What
have
a
said New York
bunch
We
City.
of
always
morons.
outsource the intelligence to the chat.
All
That's
right.
what we do.
Tyler, your category names of Major League Baseball ballparks,
Okay.
Great American Ballpark.
but your word is Schmidt. As in
Safe. Nope, it's not Safeco anymore. Nope,
like
it's
T-Mobile,
T-Mobile.
isn't it?
S.
I might allow you to do previous names.
All right, Safeco.
Yeah.
Okay,
For the sake,
yeah,
of, the,
previous
for the
names
sake
are
of the show.
Does Camden Yards count? Do I get the C in Camden Yards?
Yeah.
Because it's not technically Camden Yards, I don't think. I think it's like Orioles Park at Camden Yards,
Yeah.
but
Mm,
Camden Yards.
Camden Yards.
I could just go
yeah,
Citizens
nobody
Bank
says
Park
all
too.
that.
CBP.
H is
Oh, yeah, why didn't you just do Citizens Bank Park?
H. I'm not sure there is an H. I mean, can we do the HHH Dome in Minnesota? That's a former stadium.
Okay.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Dome.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Super specific.
I. We have an I.
It's always I.
Invesco, do they have a stadium?
Sure.
No, I'm genuinely asking. I don't know.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway
That's a
when they play baseball
ballpark.
games there.
Good answer. Good answer.
I don't think there is an I.
I actually don't think there is. That's the thing. Like, I don't have an answer key on this because I don't ever know what the
We
rest
also
of it is.
missed M because I can't spell. SCHM. Minute Maid.
Minute Maid, yeah.
D is because we're come back to I.
That's what Spyro said. No M.
Yeah, I forgot how to spell. D
Mid.
is
D, Detroit. Well, that's America.
And we.
um,
Oh boy. This is fun.
Lone Depot Park.
Yeah.
That's where the Marlins play.
Sure. We're just gonna
T,
skip over the loan.
Tropicana. Game over.
Tropicana. There you go.
That was fun.
Woo! Woo!
All right, we did it. We survived.
Y'all survived
in,
Bird
in,
Stomp.
Invesco is where that's where the Broncos play. So it is a stadium. It's just not a Major League Baseball
Okay.
stadium.
That's technically not right, but
Well,
okay.
using my brain
guys
sometimes
have been word
makes,
stomps.
makes
Sports are
me
hard. Words are harder.
And it is hard to think under pressure. I agree with Ray, and it's definitely difficult. It's not even noon yet, and we're basically in school. And I just gave you guys a pop quiz.
Yeah, that makes me want a cold, delicious Miller Lite after having to use my brain like that. And you, too, can have the original light beer since 1975. To this day, it's still the best one for a reason. It stood the test of time because it tastes like a light beer should taste. If you gave a Miller Lite to anyone out there, a blind taste test, and just said, what does that taste like? They'll say, that tastes like a beer should taste. It's 96 calories per 12 ounces. It stood the test of time since 1975. And to this day, it's still the best light beer on the market. And when you're around friends and family, Renee was hanging out with her family and nieces this weekend. I was hosting a birthday party for my daughter. And when friends and family are around, it's great to have a cooler full of Miller Lites for people to dip into and share some laughs and share some memories and some good times. It's always nice to have it around because Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that just simply tastes like beer should taste. Less filling and only 96 calories, the original since 1975. And you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. You can get Miller Lite delivered directly to your door at MillerLite.com/PHLY Phils, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces, fewer calories and carbs than a premium light beer.
I love the fact. Go ahead, Tyler.
So
I know. It's all in the chat. And I was cracking up.
The good news is there is no I stadium. So we did the best we could with what we had. We at least had a stadium with an eye in it.
There is an eye stadium.
There's no.
Previously.
Well, okay.
But we wouldn't have known this. But I'll let you,
which stadium
I'll
was
let
it?
you cook. I'm going to let you rock first.
Okay. The bad
and
news
I'll tell
is
you.
the bad news is Dodger Stadium has existed for 60 years, and apparently we forgot about it.
D we didn't get?
No.
So I said Lone Depot.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I could think of.
I think I blacked out by that point. I know it's Dodger Stadium, but that's Chavez Ravine to me. Yeah, but I guess
but it is Dodger Stadium.
I always
Dodger
call it
Stadium.
Chavez Ravine though.
And I love that Spiral Out. Thank you, Spiral Out. I actually came up with this game on the fly.
Also, there is no H Stadium.
There is
HHH Dome was the best we could get.
I'm glad that we had this. This is also a learning, teachable moment. So back in 1901, the Boston Red Sox used to play in the Huntington Avenue grounds for 10 whole years. And then also back in the early 1900s, in 1914 to 1915, I know you guys remember back when the Buffalo Blues played in the International Fair Association grounds.
Yep, of course.
Which is now
I was there a couple times.
So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed making you guys have to think. And I'm glad people in the chat got a chance to join in too, because you want to have something that keeps your brain fresh, because now when it's game time, you're always ready to go. You're always ready to lock in and be ready to do your part. And when it's game time, you can also be ready with the Game Time app. When you download it today, you can check out all the great deals they have. They do a fantastic job of also sending you updates on any tickets that are for sale in your area, whether it's sporting events or any sort of concerts, comedy shows. The Game Time app is the place to go to simplify the ticket buying process. They allow you to be able to see low prices. They allow you to also be able to see your seat, so you know exactly what the view is going to be of the stage, the court, the field. We might not be playing at International Fair Association grounds anymore, but these days we've got technology that lets you see the grounds that you're going to be attending. So over at the Game Time app, when you download it and use code PHLY, you get $20 off with that code. And at the Game Time app, they also make it easier that when you show up at the door, you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi issues trying to pull up your tickets or printing out tickets. Your tickets are right there on your phone, digitally able to scan and get in the door. So head on over to the Game Time app, check out the low prices that they have. It's concert season. We've got obviously so many games going on. It's the overlap of sports right now, which we love. Postseason, regular season. And the Game Time app allows you to have stress-free finding tickets so you can get out and be stressed out enjoying that game. So head on over again. Game Time app, the code PHLY gets you $20 off. K-Red in the chat was mentioning that he feels like I still get carded. I can finally say it took me 10 years, guys, but I no longer get carded anymore.
Wow.
I don't know if I should be happy or sad, but and it used to be when I was in casual clothes, I would get carded. I would only not get carded if I was dressed up. Now I was able to go out in sweats, get some liquor without getting carded, and Spiral Out. Apparently Spiral Out saying the candy is starting to kick in, Jamie.
I'm on another planet. What are you guys talking about? The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Jamie's on his pseudo ayahuasca trip right now.
All right, that was a movie quote, Renee.
Oh no!
The schnozberries
that's an easy one.
Taste like schnozberries.
Is this Greek?
The absolute biggest freeloading fraud in the history of cinema is in this movie.
Well, I was referencing
freeloading fraud.
I was referencing the newer.
Well, I mean, it's in both. I think that line is in both.
It is from the schnozberries taste like.
Who's the freeloading fraud?
Grandpa Charlie?
Grandpa Joe is the biggest fraud in the history of America.
Charlie and the Chocolate
This guy
Factory.
lays in bed for 40 years and then
just
jumps
talking
out
about
of bed
that?
when they get a golden ticket.
And then he's up and out.
Correct. And now so he's like, oh, I can move for the first time in decades.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe's a piece of shit.
Okay, but
fraud.
You know what else is a piece of shit? The 4 grown adults laying in the bed. When are you showering? You know
They're
that
gross.
place smells.
That whole apartment.
It's disgusting.
rank.
And it took me being an adult. I was watching it a couple weeks ago. It was on. And I was like, why was this ever acceptable? Why do we just accept this as kids? That Charlie's walking in, his mom is working, and all the grandparents are just laying in bed, in the same bed,
Disgusting.
head to toe. It's
Somebody
it's
take a shower in
stained. It just smelled.
I was
okay with that?
referencing Super Troopers
Oh.
when he's tripping balls in the back of the police car and he starts licking the glass and he goes, the schnoz. And fun fact, that actor, if you know who I'm talking about, is married to Christina Hendricks from Mad Men.
Is it really that fun of a fact?
Yeah, because it's the tripping balls guy from the back seat of Super Troopers is married to Christina Hendricks. You don't know any of the words I just said.
Nah,
All right, let's talk Phillies baseball
I feel
again.
like I'm on a different planet.
Did you ever watch Mad Men?
Oh, I love Christina Hendricks, but
Yeah.
I know her from Good Girls.
Now Google the
She's
Schnozberry Super
beautiful,
Troopers,
and
guys.
she's got a body on her.
That's why.
Oh my gosh.
Now, wait till you see her husband. Now you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess that is a fun. Right?
She could do so much better.
Don't body shame,
But
Renee.
love is not.
Don't
love
body
is in the eye
shame.
of the beholder.
Yes.
It's all about what's
She
on the
loved
inside.
that scene, the Schnozberry scene, and it won her over.
Wow,
so there you
she's
go.
so pretty,
Isn't
and
that
she's married to him.
Isn't that kind of an odd couple?
Jeffrey or Arend?
Yeah, how about that? You're welcome. Fun fact
I didn't
entered
like
into
that.
Renee's
You could have just
brain.
left it at
You'll
Christina.
never be able to forget that one now. Good luck.
Mm.
All right, Sunday. And then we'll get to around
and he's
MLB
gray
real
haired
quick.
now. He looks even worse older.
I'll take your word for it. Sunday was Taiwan Walker Day. Our old friend Dickie Beans was optioned back down. We hardly knew ye. You gave us a great run, Dickie Beans, and we'll remember you fondly. Not really.
Jamie going ye old English on us.
See you, Dickie.
Kid, he's really hitting.
So Taiwan comes up. Dickie gets sent down. Spencer Turnbull, we'll talk about in a second because you're actually going to see him start a game this week. But Taiwan Walker comes in yesterday and wasn't that bad
he did not suck, guys.
until the end. And I put this more on Rob Thompson. Now, look, I know his last start in Lehigh, I think he threw 102 pitches. So it's not like the workload was pressing him that much. He had apparently has thrown, I think, 100 pitches around at least the last two starts. He's been stretched out. They believe the arm strength is there. He had a low amount of pitches. Tyler, can you look that up? I think it was 70, whatever it was. He was in this low 70s because Rob Thompson talked about it after the game and was like, look, he was still at a low pitch count. I wanted to send him back out there. I think everybody that was watching the Phillies and has known Taiwan Walker was just like, let him leave after 6. He's feeling good about himself. He's got a quality start, under the belt for the first game of the year, debut. The offense helped him out. I think everyone would have probably sat him. Rob pushed him back out there. I can't crucify Rob because the Phillies won.
Yeah.
So it's not like
they didn't lose because of this decision.
Yeah, there's no like anger with it. It was just kind of like, well, had you lost that, then there would have been anger. But, for the most part, Taiwan Walker looked pretty good. I thought it was probably a little irresponsible to let him keep going there at the first sign of trouble. Probably should have had somebody warmed up right away. Say la vie, the Phillies win, but Taiwan Walker, not all in all, not bad.
Yeah,
not great, not bad.
So the Phillies are 22-10 with Taiwan Walker starting.
That's good.
Yeah, very good. And he was good through the first, it was 89 pitches that he went through. And at that point, it was 7-3. And it was that 90th pitch that he went too far, a 91.1 mile per hour sinker.
That was gone.
That Lewis
ball's
knocked out, Lewis Campasano. And the thing is, I actually don't even, I didn't love the fact that Taiwan stayed in, especially now knowing what we know. But I actually didn't mind him trying to stretch him. Like, it was, what I think
I guess you had the luxury of
right, like you had a decent lead. I think I was a little bit more surprised that nobody was warming up.
That's
like,
the thing.
I think that's what really threw me off.
If he's
because
at
I'm like, how far are you planning to
pitches,
stretch him that nobody's in the bullpen
yeah,
warming
and
up?
some signs of trouble, peek their head out, probably should get somebody up. Like,
so that,
ASAP.
I think, is what threw me off the most. Because listen, we've talked about it. The starting core has been able to go 8 innings, complete games. Rob's been stretching them further. And for him to only be at 89 pitches, you're still under 100 going into the 7th. And so I kind of understood that. He was pitching well. We had the behind the back catch. He was feeling it. He was looking good. He was okay. Even the runs that he gave up, I don't even fault him. That was a weird play. But it was that 7th inning home run that you gave up that I was like, wait, why was nobody warming up? Were you planning on having him going 8? How long was he supposed to be going?
He's probably just out of that inning, I would assume.
I would hope. But
that was ballsy.
That's when we finally saw somebody start, that's when the bullpen started moving around. So, again, solid start for Taiwan. I know Rob was talking about him. He was saying, he was encouraged by his velocity, the fact he threw strikes. He thought for his first outing that he was fine. And I agree. I think he was fine. I don't know what people were comparing the fact that he gave up, more runs than Spencer Turnbull. He's been on the IL.
That is a fact.
That is a very fact. The numbers don't lie. But we're not going to sit up and act like him coming back game 1, he's got to just be perfect from the jump.
No.
Like, give him some time. And the Phillies, what I think makes all of this more cinematic almost is had Taiwan come back like 2-3 weeks ago, we'd be shitting our pants. But right now, I don't know about you guys, but the way that the Phillies have been playing on the offensive side, the way they've been steady defensively, the way they've been pitching, I was like, this is perfect to bring him back. I feel like he's got the run support. He's got, the bats have been hot. So I never was even nervous with him on the mound. And I think he was fine. He was solid, and people are so overly critical of Taiwan. And I get it. The first innings frustrations of the past exist, but give him some time. And if this is how he's starting, it should get better and he should be fine.
Yeah, he had the run support yesterday because Bryson Stott hopefully turned that corner out of his slump and sent two run homers into the Petco crowd. The Phillies, as Rich Hoffman points out in his daily newsletter, and by the way, if you're not subscribed yet to Rich's newsletter, it's free and it's awesome and it's in your inbox every morning. It's a great recap of everything going on in town. As Rich points out, the Phillies are now 12-3 in their last 15 games versus the Padres, dating back to the NLCS in 2022. Tyler said yesterday, they flashed the graphic, I must have missed this, that the Phillies have the best overall win percentage at Petco Park in Major League Baseball. Ergo, Philadelphia owns San Diego, and that's what's in. Anybody get that reference?
Did you not see the thumbnail? That's what the thumbnail says.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I did not see the thumbnail. That's what's in?
Oh, doing all this work for nothing.
Literally for nothing.
Great minds. Nah,
Tweeting out the image. Tweeting out the image.
I did not see that. That's what's in.
Between
thumbnail.
me putting up the thumbnail and you just regurgitating Renee's stats most of the time, when do you pay attention?
Never. I'm on some kind of mystery drug that Renee gave me, and I don't even know what plan I'm on.
I just gave that to you for the first day. I don't know. Previous days are not my fault.
They own San Diego, and San Diego's a good team, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I was gonna say that's the
Fernando
other thing.
Tatis, good at baseball.
The Padres are a team that, and I know even Friday, as Tom and Crook were talking through the stats and numbers, the Padres are a team that is really high up offensively. Of course, they're in the NL West with juggernauts and the Dodgers, and even the Giants are playing really well. But the Padres are not a slump team. Like the Phillies are beating and sweeping to get your first road sweep of the season against the Padres, who are a very good team. And on the other side of it, like it's very I won't say dominant wins, but it's not wins that require you to be like holding your breath down the stretch. Like Sunday's game was the closest game, and that's because of Taijuan Walker working back in. So I also just felt good about the fact that we got to finally see, we've been seeing Alec Bohm, Trey Turner, Bryce, but to see Bryson finally get his first ever career multi-home run game. He's had 3 total home runs this season. 2 of them happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the first one was back like a couple weeks ago. I forget the exact date. It's been a minute for Bryson, and he's been quietly struggling a little bit more than maybe we even talk about because of Nick. I think Nick and definitely Yoro took a lot off of him, and we didn't really notice how much he's struggling. And then it was the first since April 11th. That's what it was. First home run since April 11th versus the Pirates. So for Bryson, he's had a lot more offensive games where he's over, and to see him have a chance to get that pressure off a little bit, it can only help. You have JT hitting home runs. You have Yoro, not only making the great catch that he had on Fernando Tatis' hit, but also helping you score runs as well. You have Nick, who's just been nicking. Oh, that sounds like a weird word. Who's been out there like Nick.
No, it was really cool to see the home run.
So it's great to see everybody getting their moments. I was like, whoa there. It's great to see Nick.
At least you didn't say jacking.
Yeah, but what I said sounded very not okay.
But if he was Jack Castellanos and you said he's been jacking, that would sound a lot different.
That'd be weird too. That's true. Thank you.
So it's not as bad as it could be.
As our own, I'm going to just move on from that.
Jack Sawinski.
As our own John
he's really
pointed
jacking
out,
it lately. That would sound bad, Renee.
Thanks, JB, for taking the heat.
It's the only Jack I could come up with. You got another Jack?
As our own.
In Major League Baseball?
Oh, I thought you meant in life because I was like, psh.
I'm sure there is, but Jack Sawinski's all I got. Anybody?
I don't have to be a word stump for us. As our own John pointed out, John Foley was pointing out, the Phillies do lead the NL in home runs. They're top in the NL in batting average at number 4 and 6 across the league in batting average as well. And even home runs wise, they're behind teams like the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, this is a group that is on a 4-game winning streak. And as Bryson mentioned, it's them learning how to win each game and learning how to win differently. A different hitter driving them in, a different pitcher shutting down an inning, as Bryson was saying. Like, it is, and I'm circling back to what I said earlier, by committee. So I'm glad that Bryson finally can contribute a little bit more to the committee because he hasn't been pulling up his weight.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty's really jacking off these days.
Oh,
Jack
no.
Wilson's been jacking off.
No.
Jack Cust.
You didn't have to keep taking it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that have been jacking off across Major League Baseball. Let's get ahead to the series in LA versus the Angels.
No. You don't get any more candy out the wheel
You took my brain
box.
to this place.
How?
You said nicking off.
But like what I was saying
This is
was
your fault. I'm just pointing out the Jacks, which was worse than Nick. All right, let's talk about the series and the Angels because we're getting out of here. This series ahead. So we're going to see Spencer Turnbull one more time as a starter. Jackson Holiday, I guess, could be jacking off too, Trevor. Let's get some thumbs up for all the Jacks out there.
Jacksoning off?
Well, you just shorten it to jacking. The Angels series. So we get Spencer Turnbull on Tuesday night. Zach Wheeler's going to close out the series on Wednesday in the day game. Now, Wednesday, we're going to be doing a watch-along party live during the game into a post-game. 4:05 start that day.
Michael Jack Schmidt.
Yeah. Oh, Schmidt was jacking off. That's for sure. And then tonight, Christopher Sanchez versus Griffin Canning is tonight's matchup. 9:40 starts, I believe. Is that the time? Yeah.
9:38 to be exact.
That's so weird how Major League Baseball does that.
I'm not correcting you. I
so
promise you, I'm
weird.
only saying that because, like, what the heck is 9:38?
It has to do with when the gate opens prior to the game.
107.
It's so stupid.
Weird.
I don't get that.
Very weird.
So, again, already a successful road trip. You split with Cincinnati. You sweep San Diego. No reason you can't do some damage here versus the Angels. It sets up pretty nice for you with Zach Wheeler closing out the series. Now, Turnbull is... Rob said it. This is a 1-week thing. This isn't a full-time 6-man rotation. Basically coming back home. It gives Aaron Nola and Ranger Suarez, I think, 6 days rest each. They're going to do it for this go-around because the schedule kind of allowed for it. It's not going to be a 6-man rotation. So Spencer Turnbull will be entering the pen after this one. It appears. Interested to see how that goes, but cool. He gets one more shot at it. And the other note in this series is this is Brandon Marsh's first return to Anaheim in 21 months since coming to the Phillies. So, you can end this road trip in a spectacular fashion by taking care of the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned on the side of Spencer Turnbull, as Rob was reiterating the fact, as you said, not going to have a 6-man rotation because of the off days in May. And of course, it is almost May. So if May's schedule is a reason, that means that we can 2 + 2 = 4. That means this is about it for Spencer for now. But he also did say he overall doesn't have clarity about the rotation past the next few days. Like there's still no guarantee. We can just make some, deductive reasoning as to what's going to happen. But overall, for Brandon Marsh, great to see that he's going to get the return back as he was interviewed and talking with Matt about like 12:34 on the dot when he got the call, and he remembers like he's down there at Angel Stadium. He gets the call. He's gone. So excited to see how he returns. Like I expect that he's going to come back and be really electric, even more than we always get from like nothing outside of his usual self. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a nice one of these 3 games, at least a really big performance from Brandon Marsh. And then also something that's going to be big, that is going to be annoying, but let's just all prepare ourselves for it, Jamie and Tyler. The next few days, we're going to hear nonstop about Mr. Millville and how he grew up a Phillies fan and he could be with the Phillies. And should he be here? I already saw people in the chat were saying, I've been seeing people on Twitter already saying it, like he should be here in place of like Yoro. That doesn't even, what? Like, no. We're not going to do this every time the Phillies play the Angels. It's been years, and we still have these conversations. So prepare yourselves.
I don't think Mike Trout wants to play here is the bottom line.
He does. He's said many times how happy he is with the Angels. So let's just continue to we're not even going to feed into that conversation. I don't want to have that conversation, but just prepare because people are going to be out there in the same old song and tune about Mike Trout and the Phillies.
So two of the guys going for the Angels in this series absolutely suck. I'll let Tyler expand on that momentarily. Griff Canning tonight has a 7.5 ERA, and Patrick Sandoval on Wednesday has a 6.3 ERA. Tyler Anderson going Tuesday night does have a 1.7 ERA on the year. But Tyler, I know you have some numbers on Griff Canning tonight. I would take the Phillies minus 145. I think they're going to pounce this.
Yeah,
game.
I would probably consider taking the Phillies tonight as well.
I think that's a good number for such a shitty pitcher.
Yeah, Canning's been really bad this year. His stuff is down. He's got a -5 run value on his fastball. Opponents are hitting almost 350 off of it. And if you think, like, is he a hard luck loser where opponents are hitting 350, but the expected batting average is 280? No, the case is they're hitting 346 and the expected batting average is 335. So he's not in any good shape right now. The whiff rates are bad. And it's kind of funny. The one thing he does well is he does get a lot of chases, like outside the zone, but the chase rate's good, but the whiff rate is bad. So it's not like they're swinging through it. And, you'd have to kind of go deep dive into each individual at bat to see how the contact is, but they're not swinging through on chase rates. And because of that, his strikeout rate's down nearly 7%. It was 25% last year. It was 18% this year. He's being barreled almost one out of every 10 contacts. That's awful. This guy's numbers to start the year are pretty putrid.
Yeah, so Pounce his ass tonight. Let's get this series win because I have 1,000% confidence in Zach Wheeler over Patrick Sandoval on Wednesday. One big piece of news around Major League Baseball over the weekend, and that came from Major League Baseball and the Players Union, that Nike has officially been thrown under the bus and backed over and ran over again. Fanatics was let off the hook. So everybody with their misguided Fanatics hate out there, I understand it. It's overpriced. But this one's on Nike. The Major League Baseball uniforms are going to be addressed as early as the start of next year, meaning the names are a disgrace. They'll be bigger again. The mismatched pant color to the top of the uniform will be fixed. The breaking of the pants material, the ripping of pants that's going on around baseball will be fixed. And basically, Major League Baseball said Nike tried to fix something that didn't need fixing and failed. And they threw Nike right under that bus. So we were kind of figuring something was going to happen with the uniform fiasco of 2024. And sure enough, they'll make sure it is corrected by the start of next season.
Yeah, I mean, as we're still seeing City Connect jerseys drop, I know Tampa Bay just dropped theirs. Take a gander at that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's cool. You just can't really see it, the words, because it's black font on a blackish, it's like the same color. But I do feel like they just try too hard to overthink things, and sometimes you just got to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yes, keep it simple. There's no reason to change what was working and have all this overly creative fonts and this, that, and the third. So I'm glad they at least put out a statement because they've definitely been getting dragged, and they needed to come up with something. The earliest being next season, okay, that's kind of annoying because it's April. That means all season you have to deal with this. But as we know, these things are not cheap. And it's not like you can just cheaply go back and take everyone's uniforms and fix it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
One other news and note, Craig Kimbrell left a game after a blown save opportunity with a tight back. And that leads us to our standings check-in. We're going to do a little Monday check-in around baseball here throughout the season just to keep everybody abreast of the situation in the standings. And we'll show those to you here momentarily as basically the Yankees and my hot take of they're not going to make the playoffs this year looks like dog shit. And the Tyler, do you have those standings? And the Braves continue to win baseball games at a rapid rate. There are your standings. The Yankees lead the AL East. That is a great division with the Orioles right on their heels. And the Red Sox surprising everybody. The Guardians, one of my other takes, over looks great as they're 19-9 and leading the Central. I'm sure Kansas City hates that. And then out west, you have the Seattle Mariners and Texas Rangers more or less locked for the lead in the West. And then as we go to the NL, the Braves 19-7. They're very annoying. But the Phillies keeping pace, only a game and a half out of first place. The Mets have caught fire recently. They're 5.5 off the Braves. And then in the Central, Rhys Hoskins not hating life right now as the Brewers lead the Central. Cubs are on a little bit of a tear themselves, right on their heels. The Reds, who we saw a lot of, 2.5 games back. And then, to the surprise of nobody, the Dodgers leading the NL West. To the Giants' credit, they're below 500, but they're only 3.5 games back. So the NL West. And then, of course, the Diamondbacks, who we all expected to kind of thrive, pretty much have like 4/5 of their starting rotation on the IL right now. So tough situation out in the desert there, but there's your look in. Phillies as good as anybody in baseball right now.
Absolutely. And that's what I think we're learning more and more with each series about the Phillies is I think that right now they're right there. They're right at the top of not only the NL, but across the, Major League Baseball, across the best of the best with what they've been showing. And you see teams, you mentioned the Mets, they seem like they finally slowed down a little bit. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games, where they were on like an 8-2 winning streak at one point. So they slowed down a little bit. But I think teams like the Guardians, the Royals, they're surprising people. They're the Red Sox, as you mentioned, they're surprising people and showing much better than people anticipated. But it always comes down to who can actually keep this going the entire longevity of this season. We're not talking about just April. Who can still be, healthy? We've seen more injuries come out. Who can actually consistently stay at the top? And the Baltimore Orioles, to all my Orioles friends that were tweeting and complaining about Craig Kimbrell, you're welcome. I tweeted it out. It's like, you know what, friends? You're welcome, because you're dealing with, now I'm not happy to hear that he's injured. That's never good. But the blown save that he had and him being stretched too thin and overused, I was like, this is not our problem anymore. This is your problem. Yeah. So great to see the standings, though, and how they're rounding out, though, Jamie.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to be joined by Jim Salisbury at 11:30. Again, Wednesday we're going to be doing a watch along. So if you have 2 screens, throw us on one and you can watch us react and go through a game live. I probably am going to have to make a couple of Miller Lite exceptions for a watch along party, help our clients out.
If they're going to twist their arm.
And then Thursday we'll be back to a normal 11 a.m. show. And then Friday night we'll be doing a post-game show here on the PHLY Phillies podcast as the Phils return home after the Angels series. So that's our week ahead. We appreciate everybody in here for hanging out with us. Phillies are very good at baseball right now, and it's a fun time. So let's get a little thumbs up for the Phillies sweep out in San Diego this weekend. We appreciate everyone. We love you. We mean it. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the PHLY Phillies podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.